In the bottom left side, our blue Terran player is going to be Maru from Onside Gaming. Up against, in the top right side, our red Zerg, Shopify Rebellion, Scarlett. On the plus side, guys, at least ads genuinely do, just to very quickly end this discussion, at least ads do genuinely pay for, like, you know, help to pay for the tournaments. For example, during the Winter Championship playoffs, we made we made about 25% of the prize pool back from ad revenue. So, definitely basically helps to pay for the tournaments and allows us to run these events with higher prize pools a little bit. So, you know, there is a positive to it, at the very least. Alright, Skull in the top right, Maru in the bottom left. It's TvZ time here in the WardiTV Korean Royale. You know, these two names are very easy to clickbait. I just write them in the Twitch and the YouTube title as well. So if you're watching this on YouTube, because there's a very good chance I put this series up there, thank you so much for watching the YouTube channel. Consider subscribing and liking the video. And if you check out the description, there's also a link to the crowdfunding for this tournament. If you would like to help crowdfund a future season of this event, if you're enjoying the matches from the Korean Royale that you see, then do check that out as well. Sorry, Twitch. Sometimes we have to do the YouTube thing live. You know, it's weird, but it helps, believe it or not. It helps. So, we do have our Overlord moving up the top side of the map, and seeing a command center coming down, Reaper, Orbital, all coming through, another depot going down, command center building. And the Overlord is going to peel away over to this bottom side to try and see what we can get up to, see if there is a chance to potentially make something happen as that Reaper is going to go across the map. I will start a prediction for you guys as well, sorry. I was so concerned about ads that I didn't start the prediction up, so we'll get that going. So yeah, Scarlett was saying in Twitch chat, she's like, Maru is either going to kill me in 6 minutes or camp out for 40. And that very much so has been the kind of history of Maru and Scarlett when they play against each other. That has been something that's happened almost continuously between these two. As the Reaper dealing a little bit of damage to a couple of the Lings there, so a few Lings taking some shots. Queen will come out and put a little bit of creep spread down as well. Queen just going to deal with the Reaper toward the main base. And we do have a couple of command centers from Maru continuing to produce as well. So just going to go straight to 3cc. So, much less likely to go killing in 6. We'll see what he does, though. Obviously, I mean, first 10, 12 minutes here is still going to be fairly aggressive. Typically, from a Terra, it's very rare they would just sit back and do absolutely nothing at all. It's definitely taking the macro approach here for this game number 1. And we'll see what that turns into. As I don't know if that was like just an instant preemptive grenade in case the Lings were there or what, but that obviously went off and didn't hit a single thing. As the Lings will chase and the Reaper will hop down to the low ground. Is Scarlett in Korea? Yes. For Season 1 of this event, this tournament, you have to be in Korea to participate. So, every player, well, we have 14 Korean players and then Scarlett and Special who are in Korea. So yes, for Season 1, you have to be in Korea to participate. For Season 2, we might make it, you have to be in Korea or maybe eligible in, like, the Asian regions of, like, ESL Masters. Like I say, that's a change I'm thinking about. I'll probably end up asking the crowdfunding supporters what they think about it. They do have a couple of Hellions and a Reaper coming in. One Hellion already going down, so that's going to get knocked down immediately. The Viking is about to finish up. And this Reaper's still trying to just find a way to kind of jump toward a mineral line or just do any amount of damage, really. The Lings come over, the Reaper will go down. And the Liberator on the way out at the moment as well. So Lib will be done in a few moments. And a few more Overlords all producing. It's a lot of Overlords actually getting out of that supply block, so just going to be slowed on the macro that little bit. It's a 7 Overlords at once, which obviously is not pretty. To see all of those stack up at the same time, not the most efficient way of playing. As the Viking comes over, grabs that Overlord, and Maru is going to end up playing mech as well, by the way, so he goes double factory. That's a very basic way to get into playing mech, because obviously a lot of the time you either see one or two things, which is a second factory opening, so you go for like a blue flame or so, or you open battle cruisers into mech. This is just like, oh, I'm going to 3cc and then drop down factories, which is a lot less interesting and a lot less exciting than what usually happens in these than what usually happens in these TV as EVT mech openers, because usually if you're just super passive with mech to begin with, the Zerg really just gets to run away and do what they want with the game for a while, and then mech kind of struggles to take a stand against that. It really struggles to do anything about the fact that the Zerg's just doing as they wish. So yeah, generally you want to be more on top of kind of dealing with that, but yeah, in this case not going to be the fact. We're just going to see a few Hellions poking, the Liberator setting up for a couple of drones. These Lings trying to get on top of the Hellions, but will not really succeed there. Because again, roasted up in an instant as the Liberator comes around the back, and we'll just grab one more worker in this mineral line. Queen comes over, making a couple more from the left side as well. We'll see all these Queens continuing to put up some pain. I mean, that's nice. It's going to be a dead Liberator at least, so now you don't have to worry about that any longer, and your workers can get back to mining. It was good lost mining time, though. You can see the pings go into Maru's favor when Scarlett has those workers pulled away from mining. It's effective, it's impactful, and these Hellions are trying to break into the natural. A little risky. The Lings bought a bit of time, and that allowed the other Queens to come from the high ground. As there is the double upgrades, factory and factory. Back at home for Maru, build Macfield Accelerator and Infernal Pre-Igniter. Buffs to the Hellions and the Cyclones that will allow you to play just Hellion Cyclone throughout this mid-game and just go across the map and trade pretty consistently against Scarlett's forces. Scarlett, who is yet to quite confirm, I believe, the fact that this is mech, still playing into melee upgrades, Banes, and Hydras. You can play against this, though. Actually, what does Scarlett see? Because it's not necessary. Okay, she hasn't seen anything. She might suspect mech and still be playing into this because it is plausible against Hellion Cyclone. You can play against the... you can play just kind of without the roaches straight away. As, whoa, did she just cancel her carapace upgrade? She did. So I think she's just now kind of properly realizing it. I was going to say, so you can still kind of make this work. She canceled her carapace upgrade because a lot of the damage done here is going to be by, cyclone lock-ons and so on. The upgrades, the carapace doesn't really affect that. You're either going to get roasted by Hellions or locked on by cyclones, so your carapace doesn't help there. So we cancel that, start building +1 missiles straight away. She also cancels the hydrogen, so this is completely like she didn't know this was mech. She's just figured it out recently, and now she is going to go into the roach run. So not choosing to play Link by High. Like I say, some people do it. Some people are kind of crazy and they kind of go for it and they can kind of make it work just as a way to slowly get up into Hive Tech. But yeah, this is going to be the more traditional roaches along with support of a bit of Ling Bane. Generally, you want a lot of roaches and then you can get the Lings out in front to soak up some of the Cyclone shots if possible. Is fantastic. Scarlett was heavily supply blocked there before losing some drones. He does have the Banes to try and help force this army back. I tell you what she's missing. It's creep spread, and Scarlett we know is so good at creep, which is then a testament to what Maru has been able to do this game in terms of slowing the creep spread down, because usually Scarlett has the map covered in creep if the opportunity is given to her. But yeah, not having too much creep spread means she doesn't keep track of these units every single time they're moving anywhere. That means it's very difficult to always be in position to deal with them properly, and hence the Cyclones get some lock-ons, they start getting kills before they get pushed back at all. Maru's even already happy to start splitting his army. Going to go running to the top here. Where are the roaches? The first ones, there's 20 out. We need some of them to start showing up right now as we lose a few more drones on this top side base. 7 drones going down. It's only Hellions that go down is the issue. Because if Maru's like losing Cyclones and stuff here, then you probably feel pretty good as Scarlett. But yeah, when Maru's only losing Hellions, it's just kind of units he's very happy to lose out on. Being able, while being able to deal damage here, so that definitely goes a big way. Cyclones will lock on. Hatchery will continue to take some damage. A few of those drones still being chipped away at here or there as well. Those roaches do get across the map for a bit of a counterattack. That's the 4th base of Maru. As an orbital command that's going to be in some trouble, so we'll get rid of some SCVs. Scarlett able to do some counter damage, and actually just going to turn this into full-on counter offense, looking pretty reasonable. Cyclone's now going to start chasing though, and this is the problem. These roaches may as well have probably just stayed over there and just like auto-attacked whatever they could find. There's obviously the Cyclone lock-ons just able to chase those roaches all the way back home. This hatchery just survived as well, by the way, so that's also pretty notable. Hatchery just about surviving goes a long way to help as a few Lings come wrapping around. A couple of those Hellions already dropping down dead. 7 workers being picked off. Scarlett on the counterattack once more. Can she get any SCVs to really make up for the damage she just took. She gets, I believe, just the single SCV. The second never went down. The orbital's not in trouble because SCVs are right there to repair it if necessary too, so that's not really an issue in any way, shape, or form. And Scarlett still maintaining a decent-ish supply, at least, on our way to Hive. As you hit Hive Tech, you get some better answers to these Cyclones. Even just Vipers, because what Vipers can do is they can abduct. And abducting the Cyclones means that every time the Cyclones lock on, you're actually going to lose some Cyclones rather than just locking on and kiting away freely. You know, it's basically Vipers and Infestors, and we see the Infestors here locking down some of these Cyclones with Fungals. And it's the same idea. You're getting, you're creating ways for you to be able to actually trade out with the Cyclones rather than the Cyclones just finding a massive amount of efficiency basically non-stop. Resources lost is very even, which is actually pretty good for a Zerg to be trading evenly with an army like this. Her economy has been slowed a lot early game. Obviously, we saw Maru with a lot of attempts on the mineral lines, a lot of drones being killed. Scarlett slips a couple more Infestors into production, gets some more of those fungal growths out. Needs to make sure she also has enough of absolutely everything else to keep this going smoothly as our Hellions, our Cyclones move over this left-hand side of Roach. And the Ling already getting locked onto. Shooting away. We got a good fungal growth actually out of the Infestors. Just going to do that decently in a couple of these tanks. Continuous siege. The Queens are going to push forward. The Lings are going to come in. Lings, Ravagers still producing. Scarlett just doesn't have enough, does she? The fact that Maru's switched into siege tanks now has a tank push with this, just as Scarlett was starting to get into Infestors. No longer reliant on those Cyclones, and boy, all of a sudden he just has so many tanks. That's what's so awesome about Maru, right? The transition is just so smooth. You know, it's just so... It just, goes so smoothly from one thing to another. Very cool as these siege tanks will continue to get siege. A nice counterattack from Scarlett, going to find Maru's base undefended, but right now I do not think she has a way to defend against this big push. She's cursive battling down a single tank. There's going to have to be a lot of that happening to be able to really equalize this game at this stage. As obviously she's penned into her own 4 bases. She's going to try and take an expansion to hatch in the top left corner. A few Banes do roll in. And to be fair, the Balins connect pretty decently. We're going to get rid of a good few siege tanks here. Probably one of the better trades you could take, given the setup for Scarlett. More Cyclones still producing, get more of those out. The more of those we get, I mean, we're just basically moving back to Cyclones. Maru seems to feel like he's done enough with the first tank push. And maybe he just feels like he has enough of a lead now to just go back to trading with Hellion Cyclone basically on repeats. Playing run by is nice. We still see an attempt coming forward here. There's a fungal to get a couple of the Cyclones caught. We will start to kill off the siege tanks as well, thanks to the corrosive files, but it's just not going to be enough. Scarlett knows she's been trading too badly, and she just doesn't. You just don't recover from these scenarios. Like, not against BattleMech as well, because BattleMech has got the pacing to it to come through and punish, and to still be able to run the stream off of ad revenue. Like, maybe not with this big prize pool for the tournaments and stuff, but like, the ad revenue is a significant portion of what I earn, so it makes sense to run a lot of the ads when we can get away with running a lot of the ads. I just appreciate it's still not the best user experience, so yeah. Like I say, I mean, if we were making literally pennies off the ads, I would just say, screw you, Twitch, and I'll take your deals. But, yeah. Top left side, our blue Terran player from onside. This is Maru. Up 1 game, as we have in the bottom right corner, the red Zerg from the Shopify Rebellion, Scarlett. Getting mech'd up a little bit in that last map. Definitely didn't know about it for a little too long. I was trying to defend the Lingvein Hydra. You do see some people who get the scout on the mech and they keep moving into Lingbane, especially right now with Hellion Cyclone. And you basically go Lingbane, sometimes Hydra or so. Maybe more often Mutas, actually. But the idea generally is that you get the Lingbane and you just use that as a way to hold on, and boom, you get into the Hive Tech a little faster. And you get the Vipers out so you can start abducting the Cyclones. The problem is it is a little bit risky and it is kind of relying on the Terran to maybe not take certain advantages when maybe they can. And that's probably not the best way to play out against someone who's as good as Maru, who absolutely makes sure when there's an advantage on the table, he's going to stab his fork into it, pick it up, and eat it up, right? So, yeah. You have our build here is going to be the Maru special for Grezvan. He does this almost without fail on this map, which is to go for the 2 racks at the front. So going to go multi-racks Reaper. 2 racks Reaper generally leads into just 3 Reapers, and then he uses this to transition into the rest of his game. He loves doing this on Grezvan specifically. No ramp into the natural is probably part of it. There's also a jump out location to the top side of the natural, which I feel like is also maybe part of it. Of why he likes this map specifically for doing this. Because you can almost without fail, when Grezvan comes up in a Maru TvZ, you can, I would say like 90% of the games I've casted of him on this map in the last month or two, I've had this build be the opening, so I'm very intrigued. Couple of Reapers. I'm going to come around and just going to be seeing 3 of them in general at the front, trying to poke away. The Queen fires, a few Lings setting up. We do have the Lings trying to come around the other side at the moment. A third CC will come in, and we do have the Reapers, like I say. They look like they're in trouble, but boom, you can jump away to the top, so that's going to allow you to escape. There's not even the good side of the map to set up on with the barracks, because the reactor and the tech lab are exposed. So your stim pack upgrade, if you go into that, which I imagine we're going to, is going to be kind of on the vulnerable side of things here as well. As grenade goes down, Queen gets popped back, and we'll just see the ling speed all continuing to produce. So bringing that through, the Reapers are going to make their way to the front. Just going to be seeing the attempt to move in again. Obviously don't want to get too involved until they're fully regenerated. Don't want that regen to get reset, but yeah, good to just look for opportunities. Third hatchery coming down from Scarlett. She snuck that through while the Reapers were out down toward the main base. As it's about to get much easier for Scarlett because Ling speed just finished up. Now Maru gonna make his dive in, gonna go for drones. We will get one, we will get not quite a second one, and the Reapers go down. Wow. Yeah, that second drone pulled away. Because the first Reaper went down, you didn't have enough to one-shot it after it was half HP. So, well, I guess overall just two-shot it. So when the second shot went off, the drone got far enough away, the Lings had the surround, and so only one drone going down. Not really a great start out of Maru, who will build a couple of Widow Mines off his factory. And that looks like he's going to go for a bit of a Widow Mine drop, when you might usually expect to see this turn into like the reacted medevacs and just turn into something of a 2-1-1 in a little bit. It is a 2-1-1, but not in the, 2-1-1 usually relates to double medevac production, and with double medevac production, 60 Marines going for the drop. 2-1-1 and then building a couple mines, a little bit different. And he's going to go armory, so the mines are going to end up cloaked up here. This could be just 2 medevacs out of a non-reacted starport and then something of an attack. With the cloaked Widow Mines, sometimes, usually you would say that this kind of a build, you'd probably build Hellions. And then you have the fast Hellbats to support the stimmed Marines. It can be very powerful, especially if Scarlett does this, double Evo Chamber before Lair. Because then the Baneling Nest isn't going to be as quick, the Banes won't have speed and stuff. This kind of timing can be very powerful. Now it's going to be cloaked mines, followed by just the Marine push. Like I say, very interesting. We're going to see 2 more medevacs out now. So yeah, let's see what these mines do initially. Let's see if they're enough of a distraction, get some damage done, and put us into a good spot. Maru got 2 drone kills. He got 1 in the main base when I was talking about it. He got 1 earlier and 1 in the main base, no? He didn't get 2 when we moved in there at a later point, right? I'm pretty sure. So might as well drop in. A couple of them just getting set as we do see the Overlord going to take a little bit of a beating there. And first Overlord will go down to the mines. So we supply block Scarlett, who is hoping that this Widow Mine is going to do not too much. Just 1 drone. Obviously the Spore necessary because you need the detection against these mines with the fact they have cloaking. There's 1 mine in the main base as well. They got 1 final shot. And now, the double drop of Marines moving through. Like I say, a very unique build. It's got a lot of the normalities you usually see in a TvZ build, but then it just, like I say, the combination of the Widow Mine drop into this Marine push, a little bit different to usual, as this Widow Mine will go down. Lings come over, medevacs lifting and backing away. A great counterattack. 13 SCVs go down immediately. It's a massive play from Scarlett. That really halts the economy of Maru a little bit, and This base surviving as well. In fact, the third CC is still in trouble. Scarlett's counterattack, because she has fast melee upgrades as well, these Lings are a little bit better than usual. They're putting in work. I mean, getting some depots toward the end of this too. Can we save that depot that's burning down? SCV was kind of close, but doesn't look like I'll go for it, so one more depot lost. Maru returning home, having taken a bunch of damage. Scarlett will maintain a upgrade lead. She's already got 2-2 on the way. This is a great couple moments from Scarlett, defending well. And I mean, obviously just the Widow Mines didn't really do much, which means that early armory investment didn't really do much, and just in general from there, getting into a pretty good spot as our Hydra Den's about halfway done. The 2-2 melee upgrades are still pretty decent for Scarlett. This Marine's going to step back. Marine's going to load up into the medevacs. Oh, Livy B, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, everyone. Casting some StarCraft. We've got Maru Scarlett currently in Game 2 of a best of 3. And we have loads of games still coming up today. So welcome. You guys had a good stream and enjoy some top-level Korean-based StarCraft 2 as our couple upgrades continue in. And just going to be seeing the, again, melee upgrades as well. So this game has been pretty decent for Scarlett so far. She's had a good defense against Maru's aggression. And from that defense is currently found herself in a position where she is nigh on able to do very well. She's done a good little bit of counterattacking, and Maru's just not rebuilding any further SCVs, by the way. 57 workers seems to be where we are stopping for now. So stopping at 57 workers, 8 racks. Obviously, Scarlett's had a great start to this game, but she's not out of the woods yet. And I tell you what, she's obviously now got the 2-2 upgrades. Let's see if she can do anything with those at this point. Obviously, it's weird, though, because you don't want to go attacking into the Terran. And I think Maru's aware of the fact that the upgrade lead is Scarlett's. And if this upgrade lead does indeed belong to Scarlett's, I don't think he's going to be attacking until his own 2-2 is finished, knowing that he wants to be at least even upgrades if he wants to make these upcoming attacks of his work out. Scarlett is setting up to attack herself, though. Like I say, can you attack into the 8 racks? With an upgrade, maybe you can with the upgrade lead. Scarlett starts to stream in. Few Lings initially onto the army will not do too well. She busts down a few depots. She'll get some SCVs. I think what's mostly important here is that Scarlett doesn't lose too much army, because she needs to be able to stabilize when Maru counterattacks with what is a sizable push, because it's 8 racks. So it's fine to get a bit more damage done, but you need to be careful. Because, oh, well, actually, the Widow Mine's just unburrowed. No! The Circling's all clumped up as they had one mine that was late to unburrow. And, yeah, Scarlett just ran towards it. She had the overseer for detection there, too. So she loses quite a lot of units. And, like I say, unit count is the most important right now. She's adding 11 more drones, but she just needs to defend. I mean, 11 drones will give you even more economy to keep working with a bit further down the line here, but, well, I guess I'm just not immediately convinced that they were maybe necessary. I guess let's see if she can get enough to defend. She's going to be maxed out. She is catching kind of a group of units up here. Maru's kind of split up, which is really not ideal for Maru at this stage. You kind of want to be going with everything all at once, one big push. You know, basically trying to say, hey, look, I have an army supply advantage. Let's use that army supply advantage. Let's not let you kind of get split up fights. All the Widow Mines just went down without doing anything. I think Scarlett's going to be okay here as she wraps around with Ling Bane from the top left, Hydras from the bottom right. These units are dropping down. Is it enough? I tell you what, the Banelings were all hitting Marauders. We are going to blow up the SCV line over here too. These SCVs have nowhere to go. Maru's on 34 workers now. Scarlett more than ever just has to defend. And if she can hold, if she can defend, she's going to have this game. The Lings, honestly, just, I mean, it felt like the SCVs could have, or the Banelings maybe could have got the orbital at some point as well, because it's a few of them didn't go off next to the orbital, so maybe the orbital could have died. Obviously, that's a risky play. Much better to get the SCVs. Guaranteed damage. Doesn't really matter because it just comes down to this defense right now. This is going to be just what defines this game. A lot of Maru supplies in medevacs, which means that when the bio units are dying to the splash of the Banes, the medevacs don't have much left to do. Plus, when missiles are about to finish up, to power up these Hydras a little bit further and just make them that much better at trading here, as well as Lings and Hydras are pushing back this small amount of bio that Maru has remaining. And Scarlett continues to chase this away up through the center here. And that is looking as though Maru is going to be on only 27 workers left as well. I think Maru's out of options because, again, this attack was all or nothing. And it's turning into nothing. Mine goes down. The Hydras can again continue to chase. The Medivacs are dropping, and Scarlett's going to even out the series with Maru. We're going to go to a game 3 of this TvZ, friends. We are going to see a third. Pings are normalizing, but it looks like we're going to get back into it, so apologies for that. As on the top left-hand side of this game number 3, let's just go again. I don't even remember if I did the intros or not. Top left Darren is Maru, and the bottom right, our loser is Scarlett. Hatch gas pool all coming up to begin with here as we get things underway, and I'm just trying to double check that everything's okay in other places, so yeah, just give me a moment here, guys. Alright guys, so we're again going here. I just need one moment to tab out, so the FPS is going to drop very slightly. Just because we have, like I say, that lag's just messed me up on some other places, so I just have to quickly message people. So cool. So a couple of Marines will go for the Overlord. Obviously the barracks is here as well, so the Overlord will die. It's a nice little pick up for Maru early on. Really throws a wrench in the build order of Scarlett, like really throws you off from where you want to be, right? So you definitely kind of take a bit of a weird opening here now. Down an Overlord earlier in the game that you would usually expect, because that third hatchery does come down on the third location as well. So just getting that into place, and just seeing, Command Center Factory continuing through as all of this gets set up at the moment. So far so good. A couple of CCs continue up. One Ling escapes away up the right-hand side. Ling speed is about halfway done. And we're just going to be waiting to see what Maru wants to do here in terms of his actual opener. In terms of, obviously we see the first couple moments, but we're going to play Mech again. It's Babylon, which is just a pretty good bio map. I don't really feel like they're going to see Mech a second time. I know on Grezvan he played bio there because obviously as well he did open the 2 racks. But generally I would just say this is much more of a... much more of a bio map than mech, so would kind of expect this to just be bio here for game number 3. Couple Queens come to the front, a couple Hellions get turned around. Obviously Maru's third CC is moments away from finishing, so we're again back into that kind of macro focus, and we're going to have our stim pack coming through. There's going to be a Liberator that's going to act as some of his early harassment here, so we'll be following that around for a bit and seeing whether that Liberator can find some damage. In the last game, well, the last time we saw the Liberator, it was pretty decent, right? Like, it did okay. It forced the drones to pull away for a few moments. Scarlett dealt with it pretty quickly as well, though, getting plenty of queens onto it. So I'd say, in general, her defense has been pretty good today. I think maybe just caught a bit off guard in that first game for a bit too long about the fact it was mech. Obviously, in game 2, her defense was really good, absolutely on point, getting to everywhere that she needed to be. This would be a massive series for Scarlett to win, by the way. Obviously, Maru is going to be seen as, from pretty much everyone, as the player to beat in this group, and if Scarlett can win this, it's really going to skyrocket her chances of advancing out of the group into the playoffs. Right now, she's on that kind of borderline position where it's like she might make it, she might not. If you expect her to lose versus Maru, she's probably on like a win and in situation when it comes to, next, the final play day, where she plays DRG, but that's obviously no easy matchup either, so... yeah, a win here would obviously just make her life a lot easier and a lot more kind of, just a lot simplified in terms of a path to the playoffs. Because if she wins here, she may not even have to win the final match, and she'll probably make it in anyways, so... Aliens will hold out, and we do see the Liberator pushed away. Maru going to choose to just go and repair it, bring it back onto the map afterwards, and then use it once again Not really too surprised, not anything to see that. As we just have our Hellions making their way around the left-hand side, Fuelings nibbling the rocks, and away we go for the moment. Hellions up the left-hand side. We do have our 1-1 upgrades, the combat shield coming through. 5 more racks already, by the way. Talk about a man that wants to just go aggressive. Maru thoroughly believes in his ability just to go across the map here and just straight up just go, push, and just win this game. So we'll see how that develops as we have the extra 3 racks all finishing up. Carapace upgrade coming through. The balance speed's about halfway along. Now Hellions come by, just going to knock down a couple of these creep tumors. Again, melee upgrades continuing out, and Lings and Banes just setting up. Nothing really happened in this game apart from the fact that Maru cut 45 SCVs and is just going to be super aggressive. But nothing really happened building up to this point. So this is just a question of, can Scarlett recognize how aggressive Maru is being? So you can see our Marines working their way through the rocks. I'm just going to knock those through so we have access to this base. I think Scarlett has to give that base up immediately. And that's fine. She's very behind on upgrades, but she does have Baneling's speed in her favor. She'll have creep spread for the majority of these fights. I don't think you fight yet. I really think you just give this base up. She's building another base top right. Okay, she's going to go for it. Let's see if it's going to be good enough. A couple of the Banes trying to come around the back so they can try and reach some of those Marines. This honestly wasn't a bad first attempt. Obviously, having the creep so far forward on the top side of that ramp as well is pretty nice. The Queen's here likely just going to get rid of the libs. That's one less thing you're running into every single time. Again, 1-1 upgrades, but not for much longer. At least Carapace is about to be done from Scarlett. So that's one little advantage she'll have. These few Hellions are being annoying too. She will stop to attack those, but that means that Banelings kind of got used up. She does get 2 tanks with the Queens, though. That's massive. If she didn't get any tanks there, I'm worried for her. But by getting rid of the couple of tanks, I feel like she keeps herself in a bit more of a playable position. Now Maru doesn't have as much splash to be working with. He doesn't have as much denial on the few extra Banelings that are on the way up. So this starts to feel, like I say, a little bit better as our melee upgrade finishing shortly. A few Banes are going to go rolling forward again, looking for those Marines. We got rid of another siege tank, and Scarlett is holding on. Maru has gone to 52 SCVs behind this, now starting 2-2 as well, recognizing that this game might go on a little while. Scarlett too, as she techs into her Hydra speed on the way up, and the +2 Carapace herself, saying that, hey, I feel like I actually have a good enough setup here to survive a little while teching. She does finally lose this base, but you know what? In the end of the day, I actually didn't mind her defending here. I felt like the defense was fine. And Maru spent so much time denying this base. The top right has gone up, but, so far unnoticed. Scarlett's continuing to creep spread around that top side as well. Right now, I gotta say I do like it for Scarlett. Maru, absolutely not out of the game or anything like that, but I feel like Scarlett's in a decent spot. She's got a bunch of money to spend. She just needs the lava, and there it is. She actually just had it, and she just spent it when I went to check the lava count. It was like 1. But she actually just spent it on the Hydras, so she does have the Hydras to help us spend the lava. If you're just playing Ling Bane, sometimes it can be troubling to try and play against the, this kind of constant attack because it's so lava intensive. If you miss some injects, you're in trouble. The Hydras help with the lava intensity because they're more expensive units per lava, so you can still get units out and really make the most of what you have available to you. Scarlett has units to defend this top right base already. Again, having the creep preemptively in position just to see this attack coming in is already nice, because we do have... Ooh, Medevac's low HP. I was going to say we might lose one there. Obviously, the empty one didn't get loaded... Oh, the low HP one didn't get loaded into. It was the empty one. Scarlett actually went for one of the healthier Medevacs in her targeting. Send back around. A couple of these Banes are going to get shot down as well, so we will make some progress with that as Lings come back through. That Medevac's such low HP. I'm terrified that Marines are going to load up into it, and the Hydras just get the shot or two necessary to knock it down. Scarlett added a round of drones, which was, I think, important for her to stay stabilized here. Just make sure that she has enough income to deal with the fact that Maru is also increasing the amount of economy available to him. He's coming across this right-hand side. Hatchery taking some damage. Queen taking a few shots as well. Ling Bane going to run up. Actually going to start getting pretty close to those Marines. Problem is you're just off creep at the end there. We knocked down that siege tank. As Maru has a lot of army supply. He's also pushing the bottom side. I think here, Scarlett's going to be more or less okay for the moment, at least. Looks like we have enough units to be okay there. Going to try and push the top right at the same time as Lingbane Hydra continues through. Marines is getting chased back. The Hydra is trying to fight. We just need a Baneling to connect, and it's going to keep on rolling. We've got creep over here, and Maru realizes that actually the Banelings might catch up. At the same time, Scar's trying to work through this army on the top side. She's constantly working with such low supply. Maru's actually slipping in macro a little bit. Resources are stacking up slightly. This never-ending push is, well, doing exactly that. Never-ending so far. This is interesting as the Banelings, they kind of avoided the tank fight for a long time, but there's one tank in the top left still that got a lot of them. And Maru's going to be able to do it in the end, breaking through this constant pressure. GG's and very well done for Maru. As Scarlett put up a hell of a fight, I have to say. I think a lot of us look at this series and probably expect Scarlett to have a rough time.